Good afternoon. I'm excited to present to you today. My name is Matthew Michalizysen. Before I get into my speech, I'd like to share a video with you about Beijing, China that kind of gives you an idea of what the culture is like in Beijing.
均匀，整齐一致。沿鞋底边缘为1号管理位置，把手抵达前手，以确定上鞋的位置。花材是否标准非常重要。
I hope you enjoyed that video. Today I'm going to be sharing my knowledge on Beijing, China with you. I'm going to share with you a background of the people of Beijing, some tourist attractions in Beijing such as museums and national parks, and the history of the Great Wall of China since the must-see portion is located in Beijing. I think it's important for students to learn about different countries so they can see all the different cultures and how diverse the world really is, and it can also help some college students decide whether or not they'd like to study abroad and where they would like to study. I'm going to first share with you about the people of Beijing. The primary language of Beijing is a dialect of Chinese known as Pekingese. Cantonese is not understood in Beijing, although a lot of people think it is. Cantonese is a form of Mandarin Chinese, but it is widely spoken and understood in Hong Kong and Guangdong areas of China. The Beijing dialect and the standard Chinese dialect are highly similar, although there are many differences that make it clear whether or not a person is a native of Beijing or not. Next, I'd like to share some tourist attractions with you, with the first one being museums. The first museum I'd like to share with you is the Palace Museum. It is ranked in the top 20 tourist attractions in Beijing and was built in the 15th century and remodeled in the 18th century during the Qing dynasty. It has over 9,000 rooms and covers more than 250 acres. Right outside the Palace Museum is a steep walkway that leads you up to the Imperial Garden, and it's a beautiful garden and it has lots of great scenery and a lot of Beijing culture there that's really cool to look at. The second museum I'd like to share with you is the National Museum of China. It's ranked in the top 50 tourist attractions in Beijing, and it features changing exhibits related to political themes. These political themes are the Opium Wars, the founding of the Communist Party, the Sino-French, Sino-Japanese Wars, the Japanese War, the 1911 Revolution, and the social unrest of 1989. Some national parks that I'd like to share with you in Beijing are the Jingsheng Park and the Zhangsheng Park. The Jingsheng Park is open on all 7 days of the week, but it's really cool to go on Sundays because the park is filled with community activities. The community invites visitors and welcomes them to join in if they want to. They have community singing groups, but it's in Mandarin Chinese, so if you don't know Mandarin Chinese, you could get a singing sheet to sing along with them. They also have other musical groups and dancing groups, and there's a lot of musical performers that are really cool to walk out and check out some of them. The second park is the Zhangsheng Park. It's a nice and peaceful park located at the Tiananmen Square. There isn't much to do there besides grabbing a bite to eat at the local restaurant, but there's a lot of nice scenery that's worth taking a look at in the park, so if you've had a long day of touring a lot of other places, it's a great place to just go and unwind. Finally, I'd like to share with you the Great Wall of China. The wall was built between 220 to 206 BC by the first emperor of China. The Great Wall stretches 373 miles from Shangjuan in the east to Loop Lake in the west along an arc that declines at the southern edge of Inner Mongolia. The Great Wall has many purposes. Some of these purposes are border control, regulation and encouragement of trade, and it controls immigration and emigration. The Great Wall also has a lot of defensive features. Construction and remodeling has built some watchtowers, troop barracks, garrison stations, signaling capabilities where they could signal through smoke and fire. Today I've shared with you the background of the people in Beijing, some tourist attractions such as museums and national parks, and the history on the Great Wall of China. I hope you have gained some knowledge on the people of Beijing and found interest in the many tourist attractions that are located in Beijing and learned about the history of the Great Wall of China. Beijing is known as being one of the 4 great ancient capitals of China. It is also a major transportation hub and a political and cultural center of China. It is known that Beijing has one of the new 7 wonders of the world, which is why I think it is a great city to learn about. I enjoyed sharing information about Beijing, China with you today. Thank you for listening.